Well, hello guys and welcome back to today's class. So today we are just going to look at Laravel Blade Directives. Directives basically deal with Blade, so we rarely come to controllers, but let's do that. So I'll open my navigator, and today I want us to go directly to just our welcome page, which will be okay. Let me run it. So PHP artisan serve, and we have our view there. So the first thing I want us to do is probably change this to Blade Directives. And I want you also to give you a heads up that we might not be able to cover everything that we need, because some of these things you will need them based on your project. So we'll just cover the basics ones that are very important and the ones that are normally used, which will also introduce you to Blade Directives, and then go and study more on the same. So let's start. So the first thing I want you to understand is that a directive, or what we want to do, is basically an instruction that instead of writing it in PHP, we write it in Blade syntax. And this is the basic syntax. So we start with an at, and then here we have the directive name of the directive, and then we also end the directive here, as you can see. That's how you do. So you start with a directive, and then inside here you can just write your normal HTML tags. That means you can write your P, you can write your H tags, you can write your div, you can write anything that you want as long as it's that one. So let me just kickstart this one by writing. So the first is if, and when you do that, there's also end if. So if x is greater than 5, and I can also define x here using Blade syntax. So we start with the double curly brackets, and I can say x is equals to maybe 3. No need of that. And then if you go and here you can say h4, say x is greater than 5, like that. So let's go to that and reload it, and you'll have, all right, yeah. So let me just do this as 8. I think that will be much better, and you'll find we have 8 and x is greater than that. So what we're doing is, this one is actually like telling it to print the value, so that's why you can see 8 here. But again, we have x is greater than 5. What I would also do is I'll just delete this and then go to my controller, default controller. Now index is this, so I can just define x. I'll just do this. Let me just do this. Say x is 8, like that. So if we go back and reload it, we'll have x is greater than 5. So if you go here and just maybe say it's 5 and reload it, nothing shows, because we just handled value of x is greater than 5, and we've passed it in another way. We can also write what we call an else if. So I can come here and write at if, and I can choose if else, like that. And we can have if, say, x is greater than 4, then you just need to say h4 x is larger, let me just say larger than 4. Here you can have h4 x is less than 4, like that. So that will handle else if. So let me just comment this, and commenting on Blade is somehow different. You just need 2 curly brackets followed by 2 hyphens, and then that will comment that piece of code. So let's go back and reload it, and you'll find that our answer is that x is larger than 4. Supposing we change this to maybe 10, and we already know that our x is 5, so you can go back here and reload it, and you'll find that x is less than 4. Similarly, we can check whether the value of x is empty using the same Blade syntax. So I'll just go to the next. Let me comment this. To check if it's empty, we have 2 ways. One, we can do if, to use the Blade, if empty, and it will still work. Sorry, I don't want this, I don't want that. No, here. If empty, x, h3 x has no value. Makes sense. And x that doesn't have any value. Fine. So at and if, as usual, and when you go back and reload these, we know x has something, so we can come here and now maybe remove this and just have it like that. And when you reload it again, you find that x has no value. I didn't mean it in a bad way, so just x, the letter x. Another directive that you can use in place of at if empty, you can just say at empty is a Blade directive, and what we are checking is probably the letter x, whether x has something, and if it doesn't have something, or if it is not empty, just do this. So x has a value right now because we're checking if it's empty. If it's empty, yeah, has no value, correct. X has no value, and then if you want to go the opposite direction of this, just put an exclamation there and it will check if it's empty as well, if it's not empty, I mean. So if we come here and now change this to maybe John, then you reload it, you'll see that didn't change this. X has a value, and you can also display the value of x here, and the value here is x, like that. So let's reload this, and you can see that x has a value John. So basically this is just very small fundamentals. You can also do the same in order to show or not show something, and you have seen it. Another thing that I want to show you is for I is 0, I is less than count, and this is this, so you can change maybe this count to something like 5. Then here we can just say h4, and we can just say value is, and here you can have I, like that. So let's run this, and we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because it's able to execute this one. Another one is you can also use you can also create your PHP, and PHP looks like this, and here you can do whatever you want. You can now write raw PHP, so maybe I can say x is 29, like that, and then just say print x, like that. Then you do that, and you get that x is 29. Also, this has also validation, so if you don't put that, it will throw an error because we're using PHP. So what is expected is you have your closing tags there. So let me close this. There's also something called for each, so we'll have for each, like that. And what they mean here by collection is something like an array, so you can just come up here, or let's go here and create a collection. This collection can just contain names of people, so we have John, have Anthony, we have Cop Joe. These guys are very good. I don't know the spelling. I think Cop, you know yourself. Then you have me here, of course, like that. That's an array by itself, like that. Then if you go back here and you go to our Blade, and we want to maybe p-tag subscribers are, then you have item, like that. So if you reload this, we have subscribers are John, subscribers are Anthony, subscribers are Cop, and subscribers are Ben, like that. So this is what we call Blade directives, and there are so many other. So we've just learned about loops. We also need to learn how to display your URL, which you can also do the same here. You can check whether the role is what and what, and in this case I can just maybe use one. Say we want to say if you're on home, we can say you are home, and this is used mostly for breadcrumbs and stuff like that. So let's have this Blade directive here and say at request. Now basically is request is like this is, and we can check whether it's home, and here we can just do like that and say home, else unknown, like that. So you go back, and home is slash definitely. So when you do that, you find that you're home. And if we maybe don't just want to show anything else that is in that direction, we do the same. So that is another thing, is also loading your assets. So there are two ways of showing assets. The first one is, say you want to show images, so you go to your public folder here, and inside, let's say you want to show this favicon. I'm not sure, do they have it? Do you have it? I think we do have it. So let me say I want to show that favicon. So what I can do is I can do image and src. I can do this and say URL is favicon. It will just go directly to that route, and it will know we want the favicon. So favicon.png .ico here .icon, like that. So reload this. It's not available. I think it's just empty. Let me just look for an image. So I've added an image and I want us to access it. So it's image.png. So we rename it to image.png because that's what I've brought in. This one. And when you go to a browser and it has reloaded, and it's already there. So if you reload it, still there. So let me just reduce this to a reasonable size. Let's say width, maybe 150, like that. And when we reload it, our image is so small, it fits where we want, the height is automatic and good. So basically, as you can see, that's how now we load, these are what we call Blade directives. Laravel 8 has very interesting things also called components, and we'll be doing this when we'll be in our next class. So, and components are just small parts of the whole website that you just need to like reuse them all the time. For example, error messages, you have success messages. So we can probably create a folder here and call it statuses, and inside statuses we can have statuses.blade.php, and here you can maybe be checking if success exists. So you can say if success, and if success exists, just maybe show something like, let me say just like h3 success, something has happened, like that. And you can also be calling that one on your page here if you have success, so you can include it. You can say include, what do you include statuses, status. Right now success is not available, so we need to define it on our controller. like that, you have something has happened. So you just need to be calling it if you have success or if you have error. So sometimes you might not be having success, so you can come here and say if not empty, or if is set. So you can just do if is set success, then you show that, and if it's not set, you don't show it. So it means we can also have error and things like that. You've learned the specific directives that we are going to use a lot in our tutorial. I hope you're learning something. You can also go to Laravel documentation. You can also go to Blade documentation. Actually, it's Laravel. And you click here. You'll be able to see so many other things that we have not used. You have components, layouts, forms, which we'll do. We have stacks, injection, and stuff like that. So you can be able to actually, like, directly from them check how to display HTML, how to do everything. Some of them we're going to do, but it's good also to go and just check. So this is how everything is. This is documentation. Yeah, so let's meet in our next video. Hope that you have liked, you have also enjoyed what you have learned. Hope you subscribe, and let's meet in our next video. Thank you very much.